What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just Another Podcast, which, like the name suggests, is just another podcast. It's two friends having a chat, giving you our point of views and opinions on whatever the topic is for the week. So if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you're watching this on another platform, make sure you keep this episode on a loop and help a stat pad, because everyone loves a team player.
Yeah, stat pad. AZ said watch, but listen as well, yeah. Just listen. You can watch it on Spotify. You can just watch it, like, stream as well.
You know, wherever you're watching it, you're listening to it, yo, just help a stat pad. That's the goal here.
Do it.
It's all about the stat pad.
Stat padding. What's stat padding? You know,
stat padding is you keeping it on a loop, right? Every time you finish, just hit that rewind button, press play again, make sure the views start counting up, and then next thing you know, we'll be trending number one. And guys, I feel like we can do this because we're all team players here. So come on, let's get to it.
We're all team players. It's one team, one dream, man. Just keep it happening. It's
one team, one dream.
Honestly, one team, one dream. But on a serious note, though, AZ, how have you been feeling this week?
I've been feeling okay. So a bit of background into why Tanash is asking that question. So a couple members of my family tested positive for COVID, which meant they had to go into self-isolation. And naturally, I was sitting with them before they tested positive. So I ended up getting COVID as well, I think, because I had a bit of a cough and I was feeling a bit tired. So this week, bro, honestly, it's been like a self-imposed lockdown. I've been in the house, not really been out, because I think that's probably like the most sensible thing to do. Not really spread it to other people. So I've just been in the house, man, like normal work. And then afterwards, Netflix till I go sleep. that shows how exciting my life is right now. But honestly, that's what it is. Work and Netflix, man. Like, that's all it's been.
Netflixing. Netflixing. Well, honestly, I hope your family is recovering well. I hope you're recovering well as well.
Do you know, one thing that I would say is, like, everyone's doing well. And thankfully, no one's really had any serious symptoms. Like, they've had COVID, but they were positive. And they've had, like, the normal flu symptoms, but no one's really been bad, which is really good. And touch wood, it stays that way. And, whoever else is suffering from COVID, hope you guys, recover soon. And you guys do good as well. So, just putting a good message out there for everyone.
I mean, that's so positive. It's good to keep positive at these, like, tough times. We can't say anything more, really. We're living through a weird time. To be fair, there's nothing more. You've heard it all in terms of the positive messages. We're trying to stay positive, but also in terms of, the difficult times that everyone's going through. There's not much we can really add in regards to it, but, get boosted, get healthy, wear your mask when you need to wear your mask, all that kind of stuff.
And don't forget the Netflix, like, start Netflixing all the way.
Yeah, Netflix it. When you're going through a tough time, Netflix it. We're not sponsored by Netflix, by the way.
I feel like we should be after that slogan, Netflix it. Anything wrong in your life, Netflix it.
Netflix it. You know what? Amazon Prime as well. Like, we'll find something. It will come a time where we might need to scratch this out when Amazon Prime come through. But
or Disney Plus. Disney Plus.
Disney Plus,
I mean, all we're trying to say to you guys we are open to work with anyone. So whoever it is, just give us a shout and we'll be there.
You sound very principled.
Obviously. Anyone, this is a diverse environment, we don't discriminate here. Anyone who wants a little shout out from, like, the 10 people who are probably listening to this, just give us a shout and we'll come up with a slogan for you.
We don't discriminate against multinational corporations.
Of course we don't. A paycheck's a paycheck, that's how we see people.
Again, the views are not my own. This is an alter ego. That Beyonce album, I'm Sasha Fierce. I feel like this is the podcast when we come in with our alter egos and we're just like, yeah, man, this is me now.
Like, as soon as we hit the stop record button, that's when the normal us come out. This is just purely for entertainment.
I am Sasha Fierce. I am Tinashe Fierce.
Tinashe Fierce.
Yeah, this is me. I'm here for it. But, like, kind of moving on a little bit, because obviously you've been in that situation when you're locked down. Hopefully you haven't been tempted to, like slap one of your brothers or something like that, like during your isolation time. The key thing is like, obviously we've got loads of things happening at the moment. We mentioned it, we alluded to it. Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, all that kind of stuff. Technology has moved on so much.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we've taken for granted during this pandemic. It's just 2020, when it started. 2019, if you were in China, right? So what if lockdown was in 2010? That's my question. Like, what would be different? What would be the same? So in 2010, I was just thinking, like 2010, we'll start off on like social media, right? Like, what were you doing, like in your during your lockdown, this moment in time, whilst you're locked in, isolating? Like, what kind of social media platforms have you been using?
Do you know what? That's actually crazy, right? Because I bet everyone's screen time on their phone has gone up during this lockdown. Because that's,
all the way up.
We're not in lockdown now, but especially when we were last year, right? Like everyone's screen time would have gone mad because that's all you have, right? Like you'll be on your Insta, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you're using. Well, I'm guessing it's mainly going to be TikTok and Insta right now, and Snapchat a little bit, right?
TikTok,
but back in 2010, we didn't have Instagram. We didn't have TikTok, for example. The only thing that was really out there was Facebook. And it's not the Facebook that people know now. It was like a more basic, like you write shit on people's walls kind of Facebook. Do you know what I mean?
Like, happy birthday.
Exactly.
XX. I hope you have a smashing day.
Exactly. It's actually mad, right? Because like obviously with stuff like Insta and TikTok and whatnot, like they've all kind of specialized into their little thing. So like pictures, 10-second clips and all that, right? But back in the day, Facebook was everything. Like people would put their whole lives on Facebook, like the most stupidest things, right? Or like, oh, about to go take a shower, LOL. And it's like, first thing, there ain't no LOL in the whole sentence because you're about to go take a shower. And two, I don't need to know that. Keep that shit to yourself, bro. Like it's not that important. And that's mad because people have learned how to use social media now. But back in the day, people would put all kinds of stupid stuff on there, thinking it's interesting.
Like after a party, I just remember people used to upload like 400 pics or something.
Oh.
Every single angle.
And do you remember the slips, like the dirtiest slips of people? And you would actually tag the person in that picture as well. And it's just like, why are you doing this, bro? Like, come on, look at the picture.
The next day, right, you just look at your picture like, oh, that was me. That was really me.
Yeah. And there weren't filters back then either, bro. So if it's a bad picture, it's a bad picture. Like, you're not covering that up.
All I'm going to say is like, bring back the OG Facebook, the OG social media where people just upload everything. None of this filter stuff, just everything.
Yeah.
But we're sounding like old people. Like, back in my day. Back in my day on Facebook, back in my day. Come on.
Bro, do you know it's crazy, right? Because like when I talk to certain people who are 21, 22, like my younger cousins, they look at me like I'm old. And I'm just like, you better run away before I slap you because I am not old, man. I'm not old.
Time's catching up with you. But no, it's in all honesty though, there is a different kind of way that we use social media.
100%.
Instagram wasn't around in 2010. It actually came out later in 2010, I think August, is when it was released to the public. The crucial thing about Facebook, Instagram, and social media and how we've been using it, we're assuming it's easily accessible.
Yeah.
Now everyone's got smartphones, easy access to internet in general.
Do you know what? That is another big thing because back in the day, like if you're talking about 2010s, right? You would use Facebook on a laptop or a computer. You wouldn't use it on your phone.
Stress.
Do you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't have access to it like you do now where you message someone, you can carry your phone with you, you're walking around. Like it's like now it's a normal thing. But back in the day, you had to make an effort to actually go on your laptop, sign in, and then chat to people that way. Which is absolutely mad thinking about it now. Imagine you, right, going to your laptop and signing in specifically for that reason.
It's making it feel like work, right?
Exactly. Because you would have to sign out because other people would be using your laptops and your computers, right? Like if you had your own, it's one thing, but if you had to share it with like your siblings or whatever, you would have to sign out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. That lockdown would have been serious.
That
having to
lockdown.
share that's just how to share the screens,
Oh my god.
logging onto the in all the time, having to log in, Skyping instead of Zooming as well.
And Skype is freaking terrible. Sorry, Skype. Like, no offense, but you guys need to fix up.
They haven't fixed up. That's why they slipped. They let a good market share slip over the last couple of years.
Do you know what, right? Think back to Skype back in 2010 and look at Skype now. Isn't it the same thing? Like, they haven't actually changed.
There's no innovation. They have not made any drastic changes. But this is also one of those things, right? Would that lockdown have facilitated greater technological developments, right? Because at the same time, we're talking about Skype. We used to say, "Oh, you want to Skype to some? You want to Skype?" Now it's
You want to Zoom someone?
Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one says, "Do you want to MS Teams?" Even on Teams, people.
Oh, bro.
So
Messenger. MSN Messenger. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was the place. Like, before Facebook and everything, right? Like, all the younger listeners are probably like, what there was an MSN Messenger, but that was the
Shout
thing.
out to your young cousins, though. Don't disrespect your younger cousins. Don't disrespect them.
But like, Messenger was the thing back in the day, bro. It's like the most simplest chat thing that you had, right? Where you would have your email address, you would sign in, right? It was part of like the whole MSN thing, and you can talk to people online. And that was like the first sort of like social media connection thing that I got introduced to. I'm not sure about you, but like that was the first one that I had. And it was the maddest thing because like you would come from school, right? Sign into your MSN and just talk to people all day. And that was like the thing back in the day.
Imagine you in your lockdown at this moment in time logging into Messenger.
Oh my God.
Hello, Tinashe.
Yeah.
But that is one of the things, right? So there's been like loads of people also that say, kind of, to be honest, the technology, coming back to my earlier point actually, which is the technology has been there. It's always been there. Maybe the user experience, how we feel when we're using it is the thing that's changed. It would have just been a tough lockdown because those user screens were ugly. Oh,
do you know what?
Designed those?
I think it's very true what you're saying. Like, people's kind of attitude towards using technology has changed, right? Because like if we had this lockdown in 2010, right, we were both in high school, right? Now I can't imagine our schools coming, like turning around to us and saying we're gonna do this online on Skype, for example. They would just give us a shit ton of homework and be like, go do it at home. Whereas
even
in
the papers as well, like
exactly,
the teacher will be printing it out for you.
Exactly. Like, but now obviously they have all the classes on Zoom, right? Where like you can have your class as normal and the teacher's teaching it to you. But like, even though we had Skype back in the day, no one's gonna do that. Like, they would literally print out like 400 sheets of paper and give that shit to you and be like, here's your homework for the next 4 months, right? When you come back, make sure everything's done. Like, that's what it would have been, basically.
That homework was not getting done in lockdown.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Bro.
It was not getting done. It was not getting done.
Literally, all people would have done is jump on their PlayStations, like PS3 back in the day, right? During like the 2010s, jump on PlayStation, either FIFA or Modern Warfare 2, and you would have smashed that out all day. Like, that's what lockdown would have been realistically.
All day, every day.
Every day.
Skills. My skills would have been, I would have refined my skills. Just not my academic skills. My gaming skills. That's also another thing that's comes into lockdowns. People reverted to games. They're playing a lot of games. Board games, quizzes, Zoom games. People doing loads of stuff, right, to try and connect. But gaming's been around for a long time. Online gaming, banging it out constantly. AZ, talk to me. What was your kill rate?
Oh, mate. Bro, back in 2010, right? Like, this is me being as honest as I can be, right? So this is when YouTube was kicking off and you had all these YouTube gamers coming up. So like, these were like the first people coming up, putting their gameplay on YouTube, and like they were actually getting famous from it, right? And I swear to you, bro, I was so much better than all of them at Modern Warfare 2. It's not even a joke. I used to look at their stuff that they're doing, right? And I was like, yo, like for real, I am better than these guys. Should I just start putting my own thing on YouTube? Like, bear in mind, this is like 10 years ago. So YouTube isn't what it is now. It doesn't have the whole partnership programs, and like you don't have these big time YouTube celebrities like you do now, right? Like all of that was still new. And I had no
Yeah.
idea like these people were actually earning money from YouTube. Like I honestly didn't know why they were putting it on YouTube. I just thought like it's a thing that they want to share, right? But I was looking at their gameplay and I was like, do you know what? I am better than all these guys. Like, I don't understand why they're putting up this shitty game. I would call it shitty. I was like, yo, like, this is my average gameplay, right? Let me put up my own stuff and see if it gets any views. And I was legitimately thinking about it. And I was like, all right, how do you actually record it? And like, do I need to edit it and all that kind of stuff, right? And then my family was just like, why are you going to waste your time on that? Like, why would you put stuff on YouTube? Like, that's just a waste of time. Like, don't do that. And I was like,
No.
all right, cool. Like, I'll leave it. But now it's a freaking like a multi-million-dollar industry, right? Where these people are making a killing from it. And bro, legitly, that could have been me. That legitly could have been me. Because I was looking at these guys and I was like, I'm better than you, man. Like, I can easily drop these gameplays like week in, week out and put this stuff up.
The skills, the effort that he put through. All I'm saying is that the gaming culture. Now people have got Twitch. Twitch is also a big stream, right? Specifically for gaming. It's owned by Amazon.
Yeah. Live streaming, yeah.
Live streaming owned by Amazon. But I think YouTube, like what you're saying is,
bro,
I
like
know your kill rate. What was your ranking? I get
bro,
you.
I
completely understand. Like,
my
what you're saying.
KD in Modern Warfare 2. All right, like this is a bit of a geek moment in it, but like everyone who understands what KD is, right? Anyone who's played Modern Warfare would know it's your kills.
Say it for us who
It's
are
your
not geeks.
It's your kills to death ratio, right? Which is how many kills you have to how many times you've died, basically, right? The higher the number is, the better you are. My KD on Modern Warfare 2, I would say, would easily be like a 5 or a 6. Like, easily.
Okay. So that's you killing 5 people?
For every time that I die, which is really, really good. Like, it's a freaking amazing KD. Like, that's how good I was at that game.
What kind of rating is it? Like, if we're to band it, like, is this like?
Oh, bro, it's like an A++, man.
10%.
A star. Yeah, easily. World top 10. Easily. Like, easily world top 10. That's how good I was at that game. And bro, you don't understand. Like, this is back when, you know, like you have all these people now who are competing. This is before all of this. So this is like when people who have the big channels now, that's when they started. And I could have freaking done it, bro. Until my family was just like, what are you doing? Like, what is YouTube? What are you going to get from it? Like, you know, just focus on your education. Basically, that's the message that I got.
What's your brother go? You nerd. You need to focus on your books.
It wasn't even my brother. It was like my mom, bro. She was like, what are you thinking? Like, you know, like what's YouTube going to give to you? Do you know what I mean? Like
You'll
now,
never
right?
Make a living from YouTube.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, you know, those exact words were like, what is YouTube? How does this translate to a career? That's what it was. And I was like, well, these people, because I didn't know they were getting paid. So I was like, these people are doing it. Maybe I could do that as well. But it was like, nope, you know, like, what's that going to give to you? And I was like, all right, fair enough. I'm just going to leave it, you know, whatever.
Do you know, I'm imagining 2010, you getting your video equipment because you're locked in. You're not doing your homework because homework's for nerds, right? No. Honestly, stay in school. I used to love doing homework, honestly. Like, if it was something I was interested in, I'd do like research into like reams of research. But if I wasn't interested, I wouldn't do it. But I encourage everyone to do their homework. So my point is, right, you're in your room, you're locked in, you start to do the videos, you start to like record your kill to death ratios, all that kind of stuff start popping up on YouTube, you blow up. But that's very interesting because there's so many things that are now available to people that were not available like in 2010. The video equipment is a lot more affordable, mics a lot more affordable, so anyone can do it now. But maybe in 2010 it would have been very difficult for you to be able to actually do it. Does that make sense? Because it would have been so expensive. Like,
the standards were different. The standards were different as well, though, right? Like, no one expected 4K HD everything. Like, it was like everyone understood that it's like a individual who's recording it on whatever they have. So like obviously now, because these people are absolutely killing it, right? They've got like the best equipment when it comes to cameras and mics and lighting and all that kind of stuff. Back in the day, like you weren't recording your face, you know, you weren't doing the whole thing. You were just basically recording the gameplay from like your PlayStation, maybe talking over it, doing like a commentary or something, and just putting it up.
Yeah.
And everyone understood that like it's not meant to be like a big time production kind of thing, you know. It's like just an individual doing something basically.
Do you know what I would have, in reality, right? I would, if I had a time machine to 2010 lockdown, I'd have started Open Toys or something like that. Phones.
like Ryan.
Oh, Ryan.
Oh my God.
Ryan is an entrepreneur, all the above. I don't know. Is he finessing the game? I don't know. Ryan's a dream.
All I'm going to say is, right, more power to him. And I hope that he continues to do whatever he's doing and, you know, like his whole thing is successful. But imagine a kid, right, opening a freaking toy on YouTube and earning 20 to 30 mil a year while you're working your ass off and thinking to yourself, like, am I the clown for doing this? Or did I like miss something here? Like, what the hell is going on? Because all you're doing is you're opening toys on YouTube, man. Like, come on, like, how simple could that be? And again, like, he smashed it, right? And like, you know, I'm not hating on him or nothing, and I hope that he continues to do well. But that is absolutely madness. But I think it just goes to show, right, how much the world has changed in the last 10 to 12, 15 years, whatever you want to call it. And the mad thing is, bro, for us, it changed in front of our eyes without us even realizing it.
And Ryan, for context, Ryan is I'd say a young adult, or is it maybe like below the age of 10. He opens toys on YouTube and he's got views on views on views. And he's been able to generate revenue, loads of money, just by opening toys. And he's got partnership with big toy manufacturers who are effectively, you know, powering Ryan through. Ryan securing the bag whilst opening toys. He's Charles' dream.
at the age of 10 or 12 or whatever his age is, right? He's actually secured the bag, not for just himself, but his generations to come. And that is a mad thought when you think about it. Like he's generational wealth by opening toys. Like, jeez, man, come on. And here we are, right? We're working like normal jobs or whatever. And then you're thinking to yourself sometimes like, did I make the right decision here, or should I have gone back to gaming and just put this shit on YouTube? Because I'm pretty sure. Exactly.
I'm starting my own channel after this.
It's absolutely madness, man. It's absolute madness.
Make it Ryan. I think that's the term. Make it Ryan. Make it Ryan every day, man. Make it Ryan every day.
That's the new motto, man. Again, bro, yeah. Ryan, you smashed it. You know what? Yeah, and absolutely, like you smashed it, and you know, good luck to you for like whatever future stuff you want to do. But damn, man, you could have told me something, and I could have helped you open the freaking toys. You know, like I could have been the cameraman, you know, for like a 2% revenue or something. You could have just hollered at me and be like, "Yo, I'm doing this thing." Yeah, come on, bro.
Ryan, if you need a podcast, we're here, bro. We're here.
Like I said, you know, we don't discriminate against no one. Whoever wants it, just let us know.
Come on. There's a way from kind of social media and technology tools that we've got. There's an interesting kind of shift because we're Netflixing, we're addicted to Netflix or streaming services.
Yeah.
But again, no, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, if you want to be the exclusive partner for just another podcast, let us know because we will put your names first.
Oh, we'll put your name before our own names. So just let us know.
We'll change the podcast name. I'll change my own name. You know, if you give me that Ryan money. If you give me that Ryan money, I'm willing to discuss it at least. But the Ryan money, shout out to Ryan, great guy. But then at the same time, Netflix, Google, Amazon, all that kind of stuff have kind of fueled the growth in sort of the super rich guys like Elon Musk, you know, like really talking shit on our screens. Like, you know, Mark Zuckerberg coming in, just talking shit. Again, we're always open to partnerships. What I say.
Well, after you say he's coming out talking shit, right? He's gonna be like, "Yep, those are the people I want to partner with."
Catch us on the metaverse in 2020, 2013. No, 2013.
Yo,
2023.
you know, you said the metaverse, bro. Do you know what was mad? Like, imagine back in 2010 telling people that Bitcoin would be worth like 60K in 2022.
Yeah.
That would have been absolutely madness, and no one would have believed you. Like, literally no one would have believed you if you said that.
You know what? That's just a swift transition to our next topic, which is technology and innovation. But we kind of talked about it, but more specifically, when you talk about Bitcoin, right?
Exactly. Bro,
let's go straight into it.
If you would have put, like, let's say 2K back in 2010, 2011, right? You would be sitting on more than Ryan money, bro. You would be sitting on money, like
Bill
you would.
Gates money.
You'd be close to it, yeah. I think so.
Elon
I think you
Musk
would.
money.
You would easily have at least like more than 100 mil, easily, and that's being. I think like that's a very conservative estimate. Like you would have so much money, you'd be balling right now. But imagine going back in 2010 and telling people Bitcoin is going to become this thing, which is going to be worth like 40, 50, 60K, right? Because it was at like 68, and now it's at 40. No one would have believed you. They would have been like, you are a mad guy.
Yeah, but there were loads of people at the time, though. Not loads, but a few people who believed in it so much that they've invested in it. They've seen the benefits of it.
And they are all retired right now. they are loving life right now. That's for sure.
They're probably in Barbados, chilling.
Oh, no, bro. Like, Barbados is for cheap people. They would have private islands. Like, you know, you got to match their standards here.
Okay. Again, you know, if you've retired because of Bitcoin and are very successful, we're very open to partnerships with you.
Oh, 100%.
You know what? I think one of the things that you said was actually quite pertinent was no one would have believed you. I think one of the things in terms of value, right, whether it's Bitcoin or blockchain, societal value is still in the process of being decided, or it's still very much its formative stages in terms of what it means to how we live our lives. The key thing is, I want to know, do you know about Bitcoin like early on?
I'll tell you a funny story because I think I've told you this before. But I'll go into a bit more detail for the podcast. So this isn't even back in 2010, 2011 days. This is from 2017, I want to say.
For the purposes of the podcast, this was in 2010.
Huh? No. So
we're changing the story a little bit. It's 2010.
No, so, I'll actually give you actual dates because even with the actual dates, bro, the amount of money we could have potentially had. So no, I'll tell the story first and then we go into the money part. Because I'll be honest with you, man, this is a very painful story, like a very, very painful story, right? So this is back in 20. Yeah, bro, I'm about to cry, man. If you hear me crying, you know why. So this is back in 2017, right? I was working for a hedge fund, and for those people who don't know what a hedge fund is like an investment company where basically they have a whole bunch of investors, like rich people, give them money, and they invest their money on their behalf. So these people are meant to be like experts in the whole financial markets and stocks and all that kind of stuff, right? So I was working for a hedge fund in 2017. And Bitcoin at this stage was worth a few hundred, right? I think it was worth like 300-400. Bro, that's 100x return to today's prices. Do you know how mad that is? If I put in $1,000 back then, that's 100 grand right now, right? And one of my, like, someone from my family basically was like, have you guys seen this Bitcoin thing? Like, the prices are going a bit crazy right now and it's doing really well. And I think we should put some money into it. And we were all thinking about like, oh, okay, what is Bitcoin? Doing some like internet reading and that kind of shit, right? And like I said, I was working at a hedge fund, but these people are meant to be like the investment experts. And these guys had like a really negative outlook towards Bitcoin, where they were like, yeah, it's basically shit. It's nothing. It's never going to, catch on. No one will actually use it. they'll regulate this, they'll ban this, it's gonna go down to zero, blah 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 blah, right? Like they were really negative about it. And obviously I was listening to them and I was like, well, these people are meant to be the experts, right? So I'm gonna take their, like, whatever they're saying as the truth, basically. I was like, yeah, this is going to shit. So I came home and I was like, yeah, like this is what I'm hearing from these people, right? And they're saying it's gonna go down to zero. So I'm not putting no money into it. And my family was still like, do you know what? We'll put some money in just in case. And I actually convinced them not to put money in based on what I was hearing. Bro, we would have easily, right, at the time, like from what I can remember, collectively, we were looking to put in about 10K. That would have been worth a fucking meal today, man. A mil. Bro, 10K to a mil today. And Bitcoin went up all the way to like 68, 69K. So it would have been worth more than a mil, like 1.5, 1.6 mil, man. I listened to these guys, right? And I was like, yo, they're meant to be the experts. They don't think it's worth anything. And I convinced them not to do it. And we all were like, all right, screw it, whatever, you know, we'll leave it. Like, cool, you know, just leave it. It's like a little bubble thing. You know, it's going to burst. People are going to lose all their money. And today, bro, now it's 1.5 mil, man.
You know
what? 1.5 mil, bro. There's nothing more you can say. There's 1.5 mil.
I joked around when I said get the violins out, but I'm actually on Amazon right now trying to find a violin for you, bro.
bro, I need a lot more than a violin, man. it still hurts, you know. I'm not gonna lie, like it still hurts. But it's the maddest thing, though, because like obviously, right? They always tell you listen to the experts and listen to the experts, but then it raises the question, right? Who's an expert in what?
I'm just gonna say this, right? Let's listen to the medical and scientific experts when it comes to investment and stuff. You know?
Oh yeah, we're not talking about the doctors there. We're talking about the other side, isn't it? Like your day-to-day life, right?
No anti-vaxxers here.
But like the thing is, I purely went on the opinion of people who do this stuff day in, day out, right? And they understand it, right? So if that person's coming up to you and saying, do you know what, this is not going to be worth anything, it's going to get banned, blah, 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 it's worthless, of course you'd be like, maybe that's the right thing to do, you know, like just stay away from it. And today, all these big financial institutions, right, they all want to expose you to Bitcoin, bro. Someone owes me a mil. That's all I care about. Someone owes me that mil because I want it.
Whoever you are, AZ is looking for a mil. He's looking for that Ryan money.
And I'll tell you even a more madder story because this is actually from like 2011, 2012 days, right? So this is back when my brother was at uni. And one of his mates, right? This is like, I think 2011 or 2012. Like one of his mates came up to like the whole group of mates, right? And he was like, have you guys heard of this thing called Bitcoin? I'm hearing a lot of buzz about it. Like it's really popular in America. And I think we should buy into it. And these guys just laughed at him like, what's Bitcoin? Like, what the hell is that? Like, just leave it, you know? Like, we don't understand it. And this was back in 2010 when Bitcoin was literally worth cents.
And then now. I think that's one of the key things. So this would have been an interesting thing, like in that particular lockdown, like what people would have kind of put their money towards doing in terms of investment. But that's
bro, someone owes me a mil, man. What more do you want me to say? Like, not only did I lose out on the whole YouTube gaming thing, which I'm not gonna lie, like honestly believe I could have done because I was that good at the game and I would have continued playing it, right?
Who's that guy?
KSI, yeah, KSI, yeah. Or someone owes me a mil for the Bitcoin. Like, you know, like, come on, man, this shit is just unfair.
You know what? This is not even like a lockdown podcast. It's like who owes AZ money?
Who owes me money, man? Someone owes me something. That's all I know.
I want my money back.
that is all I know. Someone owes me something somewhere.
Yeah, so somewhere out there, someone's got your meal.
But I guess
it's so interesting.
The whole
it's so interesting.
Learning. No, I was gonna say like the whole sort of like learning thing from all these different scenarios are right. Like just because you don't understand something straight away, don't dismiss it. If you know what I mean.
Wise words. Those very wise words. There was a
Bro, after getting hit for a mill, these are going to be wise words, aren't they? Because they say you learn from your mistakes, and that was one hell of a mistake. So they better be wise words.
If you're listening, do not make his mistakes.
No, I don't make my mistakes at all.
Don't make his mistakes. He's made the mistakes, so you don't have to.
Exactly. I think that's another silver lining from this. I made the mistakes, so you guys don't have to. Like, don't dismiss something just because you don't understand it straight away. Like, if there's more than enough people talking about it, there's got to be something there, because, like, all those people can't be nuts. That doesn't mean, like, all these little, like, groups that you have are right, because some of these people are crazy as well. But, like, just take a bit of time to actually understand it before you have a final opinion or a final decision on something.
Get yourself that Ryan money.
Get yourself that Ryan money.
Get yourself that Ryan money.
I could have been on that Ryan money, man.
Bro, it is what it is. The game is the game, right?
The game is the game, man.
It's the investment game.
Yeah.
There's one thing actually, which is interesting in terms of technology and things coming out and people dismissing it. The iPad actually came out in 2010. I looked at the iPad. I was like, what is this nonsense?
Yeah.
But now people have it. Like the tablets, a similar format to it, and it's grown. Like it was a moneymaker for Apple for a bit. And that's the kind of innovation as well in terms of 2010. But the key thing, SpaceX actually launched one of their first successful orbits. Like went into orbit, and then the vessel kind of came down and landed perfectly on Earth. And now
I think that's another thing though, right? Like back in 2010, if you told people this guy called Elon Musk who was trying to send people to Mars, they'd be like, "You're off your head, mate." Like, what are you talking about? And today it's almost here. People are doing the whole, like flights to not space, but like the upper orbit or whatever they call it, right? And like it's here, man. And it's just absolute madness, bro. Absolute madness.
It's here, and it's here to stay. The critical thing, I believe, in terms of innovation on that front, it's happened so quickly. 10 years, and then if you look at sort of the 1990s, for example, they told people that might have been like, okay, it sounds like a dream, but okay. But now it's very realistic, and it's interesting to see what else they could do. Because at this moment in time, I think the Israeli version of NASA has sent chickpeas into space. So they're trying to grow some chickpeas. And if they're able to grow some chickpeas in space, that means astronauts can have them as part of their diet. Pre-packed meals.
That is a very odd fact, It's a very odd fact.
Hey, it's true though. It's true. Maybe Elon Musk needs to get him that chickpeas.
Maybe. Imagine that.
Chickpeas on his
space chickpeas. That could be like the next big thing, Like they've been to space and back.
Like they have got some nutritional value, some astronomical nutritional value.
4 mil per kg space chickpeas.
Hey, Zed, you need to start that business now. Business now. We don't want to miss out any money from your perspective. You need to start that business now.
Mate, I know what I'm starting. Space food, man. Space chickpeas, space apples, bananas, whatever you want.
It's been to space. It's worth a lot of money, okay?
Exactly.
There's, I think, for me, there's a segment I want to do. Actually, a segment I want to do here, right? Because we focus a lot. I think this has been we've gone down memory lane in regards to lockdowns.
It's been a heartache for me, bro. You can call it memory lane, but I'm crying here.
This is free therapy for you. This is free therapy.
It really isn't, because it's not making me feel better. I still feel the same as I did before we started.
It's the first session of therapy. You go to therapy, you let your feelings out. You let your memories. This is that session.
So is that?
Send you that check though. I'm gonna say.
Is that your way of saying I have to keep reliving this again and again for the podcast?
Yeah. Like, obviously, I'm going to charge you for my time because I've made you. I have had to be your therapist. Let's go through this exhausting events in your life.
I'll pay you in tears, bro. That's all you're getting from me.
Tears of gold.
Tears of Bitcoin, it could have been.
NFT tears, man.
And if, I might do that, take a picture of my tears and be like the Bitcoin thing, NFTs I'm selling.
Or making it rain.
Making
NFTs.
it Ryan.
Making it Ryan. Or making it Ryan here. I suppose I think one of the critical things I'd actually like all kind of an interesting perspective, I guess, was kind of the global nature of the pandemic, because we've obviously talked about this from a UK perspective in terms of technology we have access to. I've got aunties and uncles in other parts of the world. Yeah. I don't know if I could have talked to them in 2010 because it would have been expensive to like call. Those cards that people used to have, like international calls and stuff.
Yeah. Because we had limited smartphones. They probably didn't have anything back then.
Yeah, and it's been a growth like in the developing world in terms of technology that they have access to has kind of grown over the last 10, 12, 15 years in terms of the use of mobile technology. So, some of my uncles and aunties might not have heard from me for a very long time.
Why are you saying that like you call them every week? They probably haven't heard from you in months anyways.
Hey, trying to communicate with them. Trying to stay in touch with my roots.
Ooh, really? How is that going?
It's going well. But I thought I'd bring that perspective because it's interesting, right? Just to actually acknowledge where, like now, we can easily get in contact with people in the US, Hong Kong, wherever in the world during the day, like at no extra cost. You're just paying your
internet bill,
once a month, and you can contact all these people easily. So that's one of the things that probably would not have happened in the 2010 lockdown. Or would they have moved towards it because they would have been like, you know what, we need to make sure that the world's connected.
Do you know what?
Let's open this up.
I think back then they would have had too many challenges to have reacted quickly enough. Where obviously, like it would have been another factor with the like, okay, we've seen how bad things can get and we need to change. But I think there would have been too much for them to do. Where like maybe they would have pushed for a bit more, but it still would have taken them a bit of time. So like, I don't think during like the course of the pandemic, like 2 years, say from 2010 to like 2012, they would have been able to get the whole infrastructure required. So I think it would have helped post sort of like the whole pandemic thing, but like during it, I think it would have been difficult for everyone.
Difficult times. Can't get a hold of your auntie on the other side of the world. She can't even ask you like, what would you invest in Bitcoin?
Exactly. Exactly.
She can't even reach out to you, bro. Hot take. Hot take.
Hot take.
Time of the week. Hot take.
Do you know what? You get the sizzle out, get the frying pan out.
Get out. Let's hot take. Out.
You got to go first. I think it's your turn this week.
Hot take. My hot take. Okay. Obviously, we talked about lockdown, streaming, a lot of Netflixing. Netflix was still open to a partnership deal. Get in contact with my agent. Get in contact with AZ's agent. Help us out here. So
that's such a shameless plug, every charge you get, man.
At least give me a free subscription. Come on.
Yeah. At least do that. Like, come on, Netflix it. That's a good slogan to have.
Netflix it. So there's a part of me, right, that got nostalgic.
I know what hot take you're going towards. Go on.
I got really nostalgic. I started to watch pretty much a lot of shows I used to watch. Dragon Ball Z. Loved that show. Avatar, The Last Airbender. I think it came out in 2010 as well. Something like that. Watched it. Naruto, watched it. Loved it. I watched Gossip Girl as well. Have you seen Gossip Girl?
No, I've not seen it.
I can't believe you haven't seen that.
Should I put it on my watch list?
To watch the OG Gossip Girl. They're remaking it, I think, or they're releasing a new version. But the OG Gossip Girl, oh, it's so good, man. So good. It had Ed Westwick, Blake Lively, Penn Badgley, you know Joe in You on Netflix?
Yeah.
That was his big break. He's so good in it as well. So I highly recommend Gossip Girl if you haven't seen it, the OG version. Go ahead and watch that. So I watched that in during the pandemic. But one film I watched, we're talking about films as well. One film I watched back was Lion King. I loved Lion King. I cried tears when I watched it the first time when I was younger. I watched it again when I was younger, like a couple of years later, and I cried tears again. Because that touched my soul. It touched my soul deep down. I was like, oh,
I have to say, I'm loving this build up to what's coming.
Simba, you've been going through it. Oh, Simba, you're such a trooper. Such a great king. Then, during the pandemic, I was like, like I said, I was getting nostalgic. I wanted to feel comfortable. I wanted to feel something familiar, experience something familiar. I watched Lion King, the OG one. The first 5-10 minutes, I was like, this is shit.
Oh, wow.
Shit. I was like, this is crap. I can't believe this.
Oh, wow.
The animation was whack. Everything was it's so rubbish, honestly. And then, like, I just switch it off. I just switch it off because I realized anything I would have watched, if I watched it a bit more, I would have questioned my entire childhood. Like, I would have questioned every single thing I thought was good. I would have even questioned if, like, my holidays were that great, if the summer holidays were that great. So my hot take is the original Lion King is rubbish because I watched it again for the first 5-10 minutes. I was like, I can't watch this. I genuinely could not watch it. I had to turn it off because it would have led me to question every single thing I believed to be good when I was a child. That's why I stopped. The original Lion King is rubbish.
Oh my god.
Disney stole the story from someone. So
oh my god.
Yeah, so I was like, I was willing to give it a chance because I just said I just love this thing too much.
Mate,
but it's rubbish.
That wasn't just a hot take. You put the whole chili powder, chili sauce, everything you could find in the kitchen on that.
It's the hottest of hot takes, right? Because they've gone and made a remake. And I'm not watching that.
My hot take is, I'm going to distance myself from your hot take, and all the hate that you get for your hot take is coming your way. I do not agree with anything that Tinashe has said. I do not subscribe to his opinions and what he feels about The Lion King. I think it's still a banging movie, all-time classic. So whatever negative comments you have, please add them at Tinashe. I shall be sharing his email address as well, so you can write a lengthy email on how you feel about his hot take. That's my hot take.
I'm Tinashe Fierce, man. It's not Tinashe.
Tinashe Fierce. I'll share his Insta. I'll share his, Google. I'll share everything that I could find, and you guys can get in touch with him and let him know what your opinions are, because I think it's that important.
It's the hottest of hot takes, right? What's your hot? Is that your hot take?
That is my hot take. I'm gonna distance myself from your hot take. That's my hot take. I am not subscribing to anything you're saying. Your opinions are your opinions.
That is a hot take. But again, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure. Never a chore, always a pleasure.